Hey, it's Bucky. I'm back again with another video. Today I have a treat for you. I'm going to do the unboxing of the Apple Studio Display. But first, I want to talk about what's on this table here. So this is my old, trusty Apple Thunderbolt display. It's what I've been using for the last few months with my 14-inch MacBook Pro. I need to use a weird adapter to get this thing to work because this thing is so old, to get it to work with the new MacBook Pro. But it works great. I saw an opportunity to upgrade, so I went ahead and I got the Studio Display. I want to tell you some things about this thing before we start the Studio Display, to put the Studio Display in context for its use. It's a 27-inch display. It's 2560 by 1440. It has 16.7 million colors. Its brightness is 375 nits. And on the back, it has a Thunderbolt 2 port, FireWire 800, a USB 2.0 ports, 3 of them, and an Ethernet adapter, a gigabit Ethernet adapter. So, so this thing is going to be replaced, and I'm really excited to show you what I'm going to replace it with. All right, let's get to the unboxing. The Apple Studio Display comes in this gigantic box. My UPS guy actually had trouble lifting it, so I had to go help him downstairs to bring it up here. But it's a big box, looks well protected. So let's go ahead and open the box. So there's a little pull tab here. I'm just going to pull. And the box kind of opens up like this. Gotta be careful not to hit the lights. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's get it out of this box here. Here's the front of the box. All right. Here's the side of the box. You get a nice side view. All right. And here's the back of the box, which is the back view of the device. Comes with a really nice cloth handle right here. And let's go ahead and open it up. I guess the handle should face me, so we'll turn it towards me here. All right, so we got the box here, and we're going to open it. There's like a pull tab to open the box. But first, before I pull the pull tab, I want to read off to you some stats. So it's 27 inches, just like the Apple Thunderbolt display that I showed you. The resolution is much higher. It's 5,120 by 2880. That's considered 5K. 218 pixels per inch. 600 nits maximum brightness. It supports 1 billion colors, whereas the Thunderbolt display did 16.7 million. It has this P3 color gamut, I guess it's called. Really helpful for doing photos and video, and has True Tone built in, which the Apple Thunderbolt display did not. Okay, so let's take off the little plastic thing. So there's a little pull tab here, which I'm going to yank off. All right, so now I'm going to kind of turn this down to the side. All right, so I pulled the pull tab for you, and now I got to open the box. The box is a little bit, it's big, it's a little bit unwieldy, so I'm going to try to open it towards the camera here. Let's see how successful I am. So this is what it looks like inside. There's two side walls that you just kind of pull apart, and then this part of the box kind of opens down. So let me get to the other side. There we go. And I guess this box, there we go. So there we go, the item's standing up. I'm just going to turn the box for you so you can see what's on the back. So on the back here, I guess this thing is covered in paper. There's a little backpack, I guess, for the device. And then we have here, we have a box of the, I assume the peripherals. So this is a, so this is a USB-C cable. Looks really nice. It's, let's pull it out here. All right, so this is a braided cable. I would say about 3 feet long. Inside is also, some black Apple stickers. That's very nice. quick start guide, all the regulatory paperwork. So we'll plug it and file it. All right. So give me a few seconds. Let me get this out of the box, and we'll take off the backpack and the paper. All right. So we got it out of the box, and we got it on the table. First impressions is this is really light. It's about 13 pounds compared to my Thunderbolt display, which is almost like 25 pounds. It's much thinner. It's machined aluminum. So next thing I want to take off is this this little backpack thing. So let's see how we do that. There we go. All right. So yeah, so this looks like the power cord here. Let's take this off here. So here's the power cord. So maybe 5 or 6 feet long. The power cord's also really nice. It's braided, just like the USB-C cable, and then it kind of sticks into the device. And we'll talk a little bit later about this connection, but that's really cool. The next thing I want to do is take off this paper stuff here. So let's take a look here. Let me turn it around for you so you can see. There we go. So underneath that paper is another cover right here. So first impressions of the kind of the exterior. So this is machined aluminum, much thinner than the Apple Thunderbolt. Really looks beautiful actually. Has little like a row of holes at the top, and I can feel like a row of holes at the bottom. So it's definitely over-engineered. The stand looks beautiful. It's just like it looks like machined aluminum, and I like that. I like the fact that it looks over-engineered. There you go. The next part of my review is that I've used it for a few days now, and I have some thoughts about it, and so I want to share those thoughts with you. But before we start, some background information. This thing is over-engineered. It has an A13 chip in it. It has 64 gigabytes of memory. It's basically a giant iPhone or an iPad without a touchscreen. So I love that. I love things that are over-engineered. It's kind of like the Apple HomePod, the original one. That was really over-engineered, but it's one of my favorite devices to use. And all right, so let's get to some of the more feature-by-feature thoughts that I have. Let's talk about the screen first. So this is like a 5K Retina display. It's 218 pixels per square inch. It's so-called Retina display. From my experience, very easy on the eyes. The color range is the best I've ever used on a monitor. I do some photo editing, video editing for this YouTube channel, and also some script work and some typing and some document work. And in my experience, this is the best monitor I've ever used. Especially much better than the Apple Thunderbolt display that I had. It's twice the resolution, so it's a much better image, much clearer image. And the device is a little bit lower to the desk surface, and so it makes it a little bit easier to use from that perspective. The next thing I want to discuss is the camera. So the camera is the most controversial part of this display. As I'm sure you know, it's been criticized about the poor quality of it. It's a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. It has, I think, a 122 degree field of view, and it has the center stage feature, which allows it to, pan and zoom as people come into the field of view and as they leave the field of view. So this has gotten a lot of criticism because the quality is not what you would expect. And in my use, there's no question that this quality of the camera is not good. Apple easily could have done better. They could have put the rear-facing camera of an old iPhone on this display, and it would have looked much better. So I'm not really sure why this decision was made. I think there are two factors involved. One is there's definitely a software issue. Apple said as much, that they're going to have to release improvements to the software to make the camera better. And they did just do a release with the most current beta. but in my eyes and from what I've seen, the improvement is not that dramatic. It kind of still looks pretty bad. So I think I like to give Apple some time. I like to give some fairness to Apple. I think it's going to take a few more software updates to really optimize it. I think it's going to require a lot of user feedback for Apple to improve it to the level that we expect it as. What's kind of sad is that, and this is the second part of the issue, which I think there is something wrong with the hardware itself. This same camera system is used in an iPad, and the iPad looks much better. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that when you use an iPad, you're actually closer to the camera. And here, you're often maybe 1 foot to 18 inches away from the screen when you're using it, sometimes more. And I think there's something weird with the focal length of this camera that produces an image where the background is very, very clear, but the face is actually muddled and very soft, and you lose a lot of detail, and you lose a lot of the shadow and the detail in both the highlights and the shadows. The mid-tone is, I think, okay, but I think because you're losing detail at the top and at the bottom end, the image looks kind of strange. So kind of disappointing for something from Apple, so kind of a miss from them. But I would like to give Apple some time because I think with software, they could be able to fix it. So the next thing I want to talk about is the audio. So this thing has 6 speakers. They have force canceling woofers and a couple tweeters. And I have to be honest, for a display, the sound is phenomenal. It uses, I think, the same speaker design as the MacBook Pro, but because of its size and thickness, I think the bass is better, and I think the overall sound is better. With the caveat that it's good for a display. This thing is definitely not going to replace your home audio system or your HomePod or your speaker system that you use on your desktop. It's not that good. But for a display, not bad. Actually, pretty good. The next thing I want to discuss are the ports. So here we have 4 ports. And one port is a Thunderbolt 3 port, and 3 of the ports in the back are USB-C. I think they're the 10 gigabit per second transfer rate. So I wish, actually, I'm pretty disappointed that they're not all Thunderbolt 3 ports. I feel if they were all Thunderbolt 3 ports, it would really give a lot more freedom in the usage of the device. The Thunderbolt 3 also has a capability of charging most laptops. It was able to charge my 14-inch MacBook Pro pretty easily. I had no trouble with it. The cable is included with the screen. I want to discuss the stand now. So the stand is actually really, really beautiful. Let me see if I can turn it to the side here. It's really, really thin. It's very sturdy. I got the one that's tilt adjustable, but not height adjustable. They do have 2 other versions. One is a Visa mount, which is no added charge. And then there's one that's tilt and height adjustable for those of you who are taller. That is an upcharge on the device. This is very similar to the hinge that's used on the Apple Thunderbolt display. I felt it was adequate. For me, it's fine. I do wish that the height adjustable part of it would have been standard, but it's not, and it's okay, because this is really good as it is. And it's really beautiful looking, it's elegant. Let's talk about the power cable. That's one of the weird quirks of this device. So the power cable is here. And the strange thing that Apple did is you can't really remove it really easily. And that to me is a kind of a design problem. This is a device that's meant to be owned for many years. What happens if the cord frays? If you have a pet, the pet gets into it, or you run over it with your chair, or it gets squished behind some furniture. If this thing frays, you're going to have to lug this entire thing to an Apple store, which may not be nearby, and it's just going to cause you a lot of inconvenience just to get a simple cord replaced. Apple's previous, some of their previous displays, this power cord was interchangeable. And so it is one of the weird design oddities of this, and it's a disappointment and an engineering misstep. Something to keep in mind if you're going to buy it. Let's talk about the cost of this thing. This thing is definitely not cheap. I have the base model, and it was $15.99 plus taxes. And there's an upcharge for a nano texture display, which was $300, and there's an upcharge for the height and tilt adjustable stand, which is $400. It's pretty expensive. It's a luxury item, maybe too expensive. We'll talk about that in a second. So should you buy this device? Well, here's the bottom line. It's a totally over-engineered machine, far more than what most people would need in a monitor. It's like a HomePod in that respect, the original HomePod. And for me, I like that. It's beautiful. The aluminum case is beautiful. The design is very aesthetic, and totally worth the price for me. It's a great display for like prosumers or for Apple enthusiasts. And even if you're working from home, I think the overall balance of features is great. It'll make work a lot easier. It'll make you more efficient, doing work from home. I recommend it, but there's two caveats that I'd like you to keep in mind. First, know that it's really, really expensive. A $15.99 monitor with additional charges for a nano texture glass and a height adjustable stand, that's really a very high cost. So it's a luxury item. You are definitely going to pay the Apple tax on it. So there are definitely cheaper options out there that get you 99% of the way towards this product. But a lot of us who are Apple enthusiasts, we like the over-engineering, and so, we buy this sort of thing. And the other caveat that I want you to keep in mind is the camera. If you really need a really high quality camera for your work or for some of the things that you do, and a lower quality camera is a deal breaker, then don't buy this device, because the camera is really a very poor quality camera when compared to the cost. So I think that eventually Apple will need to do a couple things. One, they'll need to continue to improve the camera software, and I think that's just going to take a lot of time and a lot of feedback from their users. And the second thing, I think they are definitely going to have to upgrade the camera hardware inside the device. I think that's not going to be a particularly optional thing, and I'm curious to see if they'll do it sooner or later. Knowing Apple, it'll probably be later. And then we'll see. We'll see if more monitors come out later this year, and maybe they'll offer better hardware in that sense. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our review. And please like and subscribe. We want to get to 1,000 viewers, 1,000 subscribers, so that can help push the channel forward and let us do some more great things that we have in the pipeline. So I hope you enjoyed today's unboxing review, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.